again, they're a non-issue to me. And why is that? Because I focus on what I can control. I master my craft. And what do I mean by mastery, right? So mastery is, mastery happens when eyeballs aren't on you. So when I was mastering my listing presentation, right? So I realized at the time my listing conduction ratios were very low, or they were like industry average, and I wanted them to be very high. I knew that would have a huge impact on my business. Yeah, right. So there's a few things that I did there, right? I'm like, okay, I've got to improve this. How am I going to improve this? Well, I need to have obviously a better presentation process. So where I started with that though is every listing obviously that I lost, I'm calling the sellers, congratulate them on their decision, not trying to talk them out of it, but asking for feedback. But then I realized that wasn't enough. So I started calling every single expired, withdrawn, canceled in my marketplace, and just interview. How can what do you want from us as real estate agents? What do you want? What can I do in my business or the services that I provide? Like, what do you want, right? So I'm using that time, to craft the best listing presentation that I possibly could. Listening to consumers while studying other top producers. Then as I come up and I'm crafting this listing presentation, man, I'm spending hours every single night when my wife and kids would go to bed, just hours going over it, hundreds, if not thousands of times. Mastery again happens when eyeballs aren't on you, right? And I'm so intentional about the process. When I get this call, let's just say, from a potential lister, right? What are the exact questions that I need to ask to prepare for the appointment in the exact way? What is the exact most effective appointment setting script that I can utilize to sell value in the appointment and get that appointment set? Then what is the most effective appointment confirmation process? Exactly step by step. How do I prepare for this appointment in the most effective manner? How early do I need to show up? When I knock on the door, how do I introduce myself? What do I say? How do I lead that process? How do I do the tour? How do I do my marketing presentation? How do I close them into listing with me and breaking down each element of just that process? And that's only one of so many different things that you've got to master in this real estate space. That's just one process, right? But just spending months and not months, now years, right, of just dissecting those things over and over and over, becoming obsessed. If you were to define and draw, like, what's that, like, dividing line between those that create massive success in their life compared to those that just talk about it but never create success? Like, the one defining thing the difference between the two is those that just talk about it that never create the success, they obsess over the things that the money buys them, or the money brings them, the house, the cars, the watches, the clothes, the vacations, where those that create the success, truly create the success, they obsess over the little tiny things, the little tiny processes that then lead to that success. That's different. Like you and I, Michael, like we're so good at what we do because we obsess over those tiny little things. The money follows, right? But our industry is so broken, it has nothing to do with technology. It really has nothing to do with NAR or anybody else. It's just real estate agents choose to be amateurs and not go pro. We have such a small percentage of this industry that chooses to go pro, guys like you and I. It's less than 3% of the industry that chooses to go pro at a high level, and then we're faced with all these amateurs. So I guess those of you listening, if I could say anything, right, that would have the biggest impact on your business, man, commit to going pro.